Hi, this is Honey German, and welcome to CEO Unplugged. Today, I am sitting down with Michael J. Smith, the president of Berkeley College. Welcome.
Welcome. Thanks to be here.
Thanks for coming in. We want to know a little bit about Berkeley College. Like, give us an overall, description of what Berkeley College is to you.
Berkeley College can be it can take a couple hours to tell the story. The thumbnail is that Berkeley College started in 1931 in East Orange, New Jersey. Started really as a finishing school for women back in the day.
Interesting.
We've been in New York since 1938. We have over 60,000 graduates from that time. Evolved from a secretarial type school for women only into a certificate granting institution, to an associate degree granting institution, to a bachelor degree granting institution. In Jersey, we're offering graduate degrees in business, MBAs in management. So we've been doing that. We've evolved through the times as the marketplace and so about 20 plus years ago, we got into the online space. So probably about 15% of our students are full online students. Many of our students take classes, to support their educational background. But we're focused principally in criminal justice. We're focused in business degrees.
Amazing.
And medical degrees. And the focus, why someone would come to Berkeley College is that they want to get a career. And they come to Berkeley College saying, I know that when I come across a graduation stage, on the back end of the stage, there'll be a job. That's amazing.
Now, students are I guess, the most important thing when it comes to school. What sets Berkeley College apart when it comes to student services?
Well, the only thing about a school is really the students. I mean, it's all about the students, and we understand that very, very well. What sets Berkeley College apart is that we understand the challenges and the struggles that students go through. We say there are a lot of hurdles on the way to the graduation stage. In fact, at this point in time now, it's probably never been easier to get into college than it is now.
Wow.
But it's also never been as hard to get out. And the reality is it's not, when you're going out into the employment marketplace, it's not whether you went to college, it's whether you left college, and left college for the reason that you came. If you came for a certificate or associate degree or bachelor degree, that's what the employer is looking for. They're looking for the skill and knowledge, but they're also looking for the evidence that happened. So what sets Berkeley College apart is that we understand the challenges that today's students have, and we have so many support systems to help them get through that. And that's really the key focus of what Berkeley is all about, is that how can we provide just a multitude of support services to get the student for the challenges that they have inside the classroom and outside the classroom.
And I can kind of attest to that because I've been through to different campuses, and it was just every single time it was just the students were the most important thing. They were really what mattered. The student experience, them being able to talk to me. It's we had a ice cream social, and it was just super dope. I was just I didn't have this in college. I was just in and out, and here they were, hanging out, asking questions, and having fun, which to me felt like home, if that makes any sense to you.
Well, exactly, and that's we consider ourselves we're a college, and we certainly have we have to meet the expectations of the state licensure, and we need to have employers that are going to hire our graduates. But on when we ask students, why'd you come to Berkeley College, or what do you like best about Berkeley College, they'll say it feels like a family here, and that's the approach that we have. Now we still take the personalized approach at Berkeley because this year in May we'll have a graduation ceremony. We'll do it at the Presidential Center in Newark. We'll have about between 12 or 14,000 individuals in there. With about 2,000 students graduating. And what we do, other schools will say, okay, school of so-and-so, stand up, and we call every single student's name. So every single student walks up towards the stage, and we do it 2,000 plus times. Wow. And I'm up there shaking 2,000 hands and handing out 2,000 diplomas. And each student has their full body blasted on the big jumbotron.
That's amazing.
That's up there, and it's amazing. I stand on that stage for a couple hours, and we're calling out the names. And no matter who the person is, from some part of the arena, I'll hear a scream, a yell, a bell, a horn, because that's important. And so many of our students are the first of their family to graduate, and it's just so meaningful. I mean, you would think that it's becoming more and more common, and the reality it's not. And the challenge is that the challenges that our students go through to get to that graduation stage, and their families do to get them to the graduation stage, is so important.
Now, I want to switch gears a little bit. With 23 years at Berkeley, what do you consider to be your most valued accomplishment, and why do you consider that?
Okay, so I've been at Berkeley, as you said, it seems like for a long time, and I would say my most valuable accomplishment hasn't occurred yet.
Oh, wow, really?
The reality is I get up every morning, and I'm responsible for 7,000 students. We have 1,500 people who work at Berkeley College, and my focus is to, I want every student who comes to Berkeley College to graduate from Berkeley College, and until such time that happens, my best day ever won't occur. The best day that we have, up until that point is graduation day, and one of the things that we do at Berkeley is that we close down the entire school, and we have everyone who works at Berkeley College.
For the graduation day?
For that graduation. Okay. We have everybody from Berkeley College to be there that day.
Yeah.
Because we work hard for 364 days for that 365th. We want everyone to see the joy. And when these students walk across so proud, so happy, all dressed up, and just it's an important pinnacle where they're at, climbing that mountaintop. It's very, very meaningful for them.
Yeah.
And it's that, I want everyone who has a part of the process here at Berkeley College to see that, to see the joy in the family faces, to hear the yelling and the screaming, and just know that we're setting this individual off into a much better life.
100%. That's so dope. Because I remember myself, like when I graduated college, it was just like, everybody has to come. You guys better sneak in. They gave us I think 2 or 3 tickets. And I told everybody, come anyway. We're going to crash it. So I understand where you're coming from. It is one of the most important days of our lives as young adults. Later on you have your wedding. Later on you have a kid or whatever. But that is like the culminating moment for us.
And that's foundational. And when you think about, someone, a young person, you're crafting their mind. You're building the skills and abilities in them. And as I was in our Brooklyn campus yesterday, I was talking to our students. I said, you could lose every single thing that you own. I mean, you could have sort of like a Marvel comic destruction of New York City, where everything's burned down to the ground and nothing exists. You'll still have your degree.
100%.
And the reality is that employers are looking for individuals who have the credentials and the skills. And for us, we get validated by the marketplace because our students get hired by employers, and if it wasn't serious, wasn't real, wasn't a good education, employers wouldn't hire. And I tell the story all the time. Think about yourself. And think about it in the context of a restaurant. Now, how many times will you go to a bad restaurant? Well, you go
one time.
Well, you go the first time, and then maybe someone could talk you into going to the second time, right?
Okay.
I'll give it another chance. Maybe it was a bad day, bad night. The only way you go back to a bad restaurant for the third time is if you own it, right?
True.
So the point is, if you think about an employer, if from a particular school, how many times are you going to hire someone from a school that's saying, well, this person didn't work out, that didn't work out. So the marketplace is constantly reminding us as to how well we're doing with our graduates.
Yeah.
We've got to have graduates who are going to be successful in the marketplace. And not only that, we look to have our employers repeatedly hire because we want our students to advance through their careers. And then when someone says, you know what, that person worked out, I want to hire another one from Berkeley College. And that's what we do. And when we talked before about one of the things that set Berkeley College different from other institutions is that we have 35 individuals who are full-time focused on getting our graduates employment. So every Berkeley degree comes with an internship. You have to do an internship. That's part of your degree. And then also too, we focus on getting our students graduated, but not only into jobs, but into jobs in the field that they study for. And that's one of the most key metrics that we measure ourselves on. We measure it to a 1/10 of a percentage point. We get externally audited. That's how we measure the great job that we're doing, because you can go to school, you can get a degree, but then sometimes you come out and you're not in anything that you want to do, or it's just a job for a job. We want you to get a job in the field you're studying. That's why the fields of study that we have are targeted for specific careers.
Yeah, no, I can definitely attest to that, because once I went to Berkeley, I connected with some of the students, I connected with some of the staff, and I've had Berkeley College interns, and I'm always like, from Berkeley College, the interns I've had from there have been solid. So I understand where you're coming from when you say, the name stays attached to an employer, because it stays attached with me when I pick my interns for the next semester. And you guys have really amazing students. And one thing I can say about Berkeley College that connected with me was that it's like a melting pot. It's like all the students are from all walks of life. They're Black, they're Latinos. Like everything is mixed up in there, and I really commend that, and I love it so much.
Well, it's what our area is. I mean, whether it's New Jersey, whether it's New York, when you go to one of our campuses, your campus, you're going to be working and going to school with individuals that when you come out of school, you're going to be working with, because this is who we are.
Yeah.
We're not this, we're not that. We're everything. And Berkeley College, has a mix of everything in there, and it's a great way to learn, because you're learning from different perspectives. It was funny. I was in the Brooklyn campus yesterday, and I do each semester I go and I talk to the students. We do a chat and chew. They get a chance to eat. I get a chance to talk, and it's good for them. And I was telling the story about my connection to Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And I said to the students, I said, I'm from the hood.
Yeah.
And they looked at me and they laughed at me. And
like, what hood?
And I was saying, well, my dad, was born in Brooklyn. His mom was from Brooklyn. And it's just like an understanding of, we may look a little different, we may sound a little different. They said, well, you're wearing a suit and a tie. And I'm like, well, this is in my DNA.
Yeah.
It's who I am. It's what I am. And understanding that we're all from the same place, and we're all going to wind up in the same place in the end. And the reality is, like, the better we get along and understand and appreciate who each other, is about, and shared cultures, we move on to the more important things.
How do you make it so that you kind of stay connected to the students so that you're not separated? Like, I'm in an office, I'm in a suit. How do you still maintain some sort of like relatability when it comes to the kids?
Because I'm highly visible. I'm out there with the students. And in essence, the best part of my job is with the students. I wish I could only spend all my time with the students. The reality is I have the ability, I go and I talk to them.
Yeah.
And I'm not, I'm not the president. I'm Michael. I'm someone who cares
That's
about
dope,
them.
yeah.
I connect with them. And the reality is I understand the issues and challenges. And as I said, my greatest day ever will be when I graduate every single student. And when you talk to the students, I mean, there's 7,000 students and there's 7,000 stories, and you may see some patterns in there, but each are unique, and they deserve a really meaningful attention. And sometimes when students come to Berkeley, they'll say it's the first time that anybody really honestly connected with them, someone who really genuinely cared about their success, was not giving them lip service, someone who was not going through the motions. And when I look into the eyes of the students and just feel their hearts about what goes on and hear their stories, I mean, it is amazing to hear what the aspirations of our students are. I mean, they're 10 times what I ever aspired to in my life. And the challenge that our students have is that they want to do so many things, and it's like a funnel, and things get jammed up in the funnel. And sometimes you say, hey, you know what, are you up to date with your assignments? Do you understand this? Are you getting the help you need from our tutoring center? Are you feeling not great about yourself? Are you talking to our personal counselors? Where are you as far as lining up and working on your internship for the job and the career that you want to have down the road? And sometimes it's getting and building up the musculature in our students to say, hey, you need help? Ask for it.
Yeah.
We have so many different ways to help you. And the challenge that you have a lot of students who don't continue with their education, or they drop out, they stop, is because they're shy, embarrassed, or don't know that they can ask for help. And we're all about the help, because the thing is, we want to clear out every single hurdle that our students have on the way to the graduation stage. If you stop with one hurdle in front of you, or you stop with 99 hurdles in front of you, it's the same.
That's a fact.
You're not getting to the stage.
I understand that Berkeley College is really big on giving back. Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
We're from the community. I mean, we live in the community. We grew up in the community. Our families in the community. Our students are coming through areas and challenges and adversities. Many people who work at Berkeley College have come from adversity. So we're here. We're here for the long run. So we give back to the community. We have what started as a volunteer day where we would close down Berkeley College for a day and have all our associates go out for a day. Now we do it for a week, and we have more organizations where you can go out and choose the organization that you're working with. Sometimes it's food banks, the local food banks. And when we put our people out there, and also we're bringing more of our students each year going to these programs, we want them to see and understand exactly, who you're helping. And sometimes some of our students or some of our employees have even benefited from the work of the food banks. We have, child care centers that we go in. We have libraries we go in. We go to public parks and plant flowers for their, what's going on. We read to kids. I mean, these are things, and we just keep stretching it out further and further. We're here for the long run. We've been here for 80 plus years, and we're going to continue to be here. So, the people that we're helping ourselves, we're helping our students, and we're helping our communities.
That's amazing. Now, is there a particular moment, like a memorable moment that stands out to you in these past 23 years working at Berkeley?
I mean, the joy of standing on stage and just hearing the graduation. And the big thing now for students is that they'll come across the stage, and some will do a little dance.
A little dab real quick.
we get the dab there, but I'm in more and more selfies all the time.
Oh, I can imagine now.
It's like they're doing the selfie, and the only thing I say to the student, again, we've got 2,000 students to move through the stage.
Oh, and they want to do the selfie on stage?
They're doing the selfie on stage.
We got stuff to do.
Well, no. Look, it's their moment. It's their moment, and I'm definitely cool with that. But I said the only thing I say to them when they're doing it, say, we do a selfie. I said, yeah. I said, just let me be the better looking one in the picture.
For real.
And it doesn't work out like that all the time. But also too, one of the cool things too is that when they're on the stage, and we've got the jumbotron in the Prue Center on all four sides, and it is enormous now. I mean, the last one they put in is almost like the size of the court itself. And I tell them, I said, turn around. I said, when they're putting their back to the stage, just turn around, look at yourself, and see yourself, and just
that's amazing.
They're 20 times the size of their normal size, but it's like their moment, and I want them to see in their glory what they look like and have that memory for the rest of their lives, because as you said, it's a mountain that they're climbing, and they've achieved a goal, but there's a lot more. There's a lot more goals, but we want to have a really good solid goal for them to start with. So that's standing on the stage, being with the students, and just seeing the joy and hearing the joy, and just you're a couple hours go by. and you're not even aware of the time, because it's just every single student, you know that you're impacting them and their family, and if they have children and their significant others and their communities and the people they work with. Like you're throwing a rock in the middle of a pond, and it just keeps going out in all kinds of directions.
Yeah, that's dope, because you actually get to relive your most memorable moment like year after year.
Yeah, best day of the year.
So it's never going to stop for you. Now, what's on the horizon for Berkeley College? Do you guys have anything planned that we need to know about?
Berkeley's, the things that are on the horizon is always, we're always very, very focused on how do we help our students succeed. And you hear a lot more about big data, you hear about artificial intelligence. I mean, one of the things that we're doing at Berkeley College is that we have mathematically tracked our students over the past years. We've created algorithms to say who are the students and what are the characteristics that make them most successful. So, and what are the things that causes challenge for our students. So on a daily basis, we track over 1,000 data points for every single student, and then basically have the ability to identify characteristics within the students that are going to cause them likelihoods to struggle or have a challenge. And we have advisors to reach out to them on a daily basis as soon as we see an indication of one of those 1,000 indicators going off. So we have, we track it, and it's for 7,000 students, over 1,000 data points on a daily basis. We want our students to graduate, and the key to having students graduate is that identifying challenges and problems early. So sometimes there'll be schools, or back in the day it would be teachers would send a progress report, on week 4 and week 8, and sometimes that's too late. We want to know on an overnight basis, hey, the student is not engaged.
That's amazing.
Their average grades are below. They're not interacting with the technology systems. We're seeing indicators, where there's challenges, and at the same time too, when students are really successful, you want to say, hey, you're doing a great job. Keep it up. We're paying attention. We know, and we want to help you succeed. So it's working with big data, big analytics, and it's always just making sure that people who work at Berkeley College really understand the nature of our students and the challenges. As I said, when you get to be older, sometimes you're further away from the days where you're struggling. But today's students have a lot of issues. You have students that are going to college that have food insecurity or housing insecurity, or they're unsure themselves, and these are the kind of issues that when we face on a one-off kind of basis, we need to have the ability to solve. Because a student who's in the classroom who may look like they're falling asleep or not paying attention, they may be hungry.
Yeah.
Or they may be working 2 jobs to try to hold it together. There may be a lot of things going on in their house. They may not be living in a safe place. We have to understand those things and deal with those, because if we can't clear those things out and take care of those things for our students, then they're not going to graduate. And we know when they graduate. And the cool thing about Berkeley College is that there was a study done a couple of years ago, published in the New York Times, and it talked about income mobility. And it talked about how students' incomes and household family income move from before education to after education. So Berkeley College, and they measured 2,100 colleges offering bachelor's degrees in the United States. Berkeley College in New York was in the top 1% of all schools in the country.
That's amazing.
It is. And it's amazing from a statistical perspective, but it's really more amazing saying, how many people's lives did you really change by moving someone from from one income level to a point where it's more than a living wage, but they're being successful on their trajectory for even more. That's the cool thing, and that's what we do on a daily basis, and we want to do more of that.
It is. It's amazing that you're so aware, so connected, and so vested in working on changing students' lives, one by one. It's like they're not getting lost in the system, which sometimes happens. Now, if someone is undecided, if one of our listeners right now is undecided, they don't know which college to go to, and maybe Berkeley College is one of the schools that they have on the list, what advice would you give them as far as like how to make the correct choice being Berkeley College? Like, how do they decide that?
First, if you're going to go to college, make sure that you want to go to college. Don't go to college because somebody wants you to go to college, or someone thinks that you need to go to college, or you really have no other options that you have out there. College takes time, it takes effort, and it takes money. And if Berkeley College has provided, over last year, over $45 million worth of scholarships for our students to attend Berkeley College. But at the same time, too, students need to, in many cases, take out loans. And you cannot avoid the issue that you're hearing about student loan debt that's out there. So any student that comes to Berkeley College, if you want to invest in yourself, that's a good investment. But make sure that you have the ability to go all the way to the graduation stage, because if you don't, you're going to have a loan that you're going to need to pay. And if you don't have the earnings power to be able to get it, a school is like a shoe. You got what kind of shoes you have on today? So
A pair of Yeezys.
Okay. So, but they're comfortable and they feel good. And
They do.
and they look good. And the thing is, when you go into a school, you want to say, do I see myself here? Do I feel it? Is this going to be comfortable?
Does it fit? Yeah.
Does it fit? And you know what? One of the questions we get asked often is that, well, who do you compete with? And Berkeley College doesn't compete with anyone. I mean, we're our own unique school, and there are students who really thrive in our environment. We're perfect, excellent environment for them. We're close to where they live. We provide the support and skills that they need. But not everybody graduates from Berkeley College because it's not the right school for them. So go in. One of the best things to do is talk to someone who goes to a particular school. Go in and look and see. Do you see yourself in this classroom? Understand what they are and get real clear as saying, I want to study this. What's going to be my career when I come out of this? What's going to be, what's my employment opportunities? What's my compensation going to be? Come into it with a clear understanding, or at least a reasonable understanding of where you want to do.
Now, you mentioned that Berkeley College might not be for everyone. Who is the ideal student for Berkeley College? Like, who would mesh well? Who would go all the way through their 4 years? Who is your perfect student?
The perfect student looks like many, many different things. I mean, we have probably about 65% of our population is female, which is important, which is good. Probably about 30%, about a third of our population is Hispanic, about 25% African American. We have about 15% of our population is international. So a real mixing pot. The students who succeed are the ones who are more willing to ask for help. We have students that come through, we have tutoring centers that are essentially available 24/7, 365.
Wow, that's
whether
amazing.
online or on site at no additional cost. But when I go in there and I talk to the people who are in there tutoring, or the students that are in there, they're typically A students. So I say if you're not an A student, there is no shame in going to that.
Yeah.
And the reality is that students who really are motivated, saying, look, I know this is going to be hard. I know it's going to be a challenge. I'm willing to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to do my assignments. I'm willing to show up. Those are the students who are going to succeed. And the thing is, if you're not, I would love for every student, to come to Berkeley College, but the fact of the matter is that I want students who are going to come to Berkeley College who are going to graduate from Berkeley College. It's more important that you leave Berkeley College with a degree than you come to Berkeley College.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for coming in.
My pleasure. Such a great time.
It was a really amazing conversation. I always ask all the questions I want to know about, but it was a really good conversation. This was CEO Unplugged with Michael J. Smith, the president of Berkeley College. I'm Honey German.